nestled within the natural beauty of Bukit Kiara. Just 8 kilometers from the heart of Kuala Lumpur's city and a stone's throw away from some of KL's most affluent neighborhoods lies the impressive, prestigious KLGCC Resort, the most sought-after urban resort developed by Sime Darby Property. The most sought-after address here in Malaysia, KLGCC Resort. I'm here at the prestigious TPC KL, one of the world's 100 greatest golf courses and home to numerous international championship tournaments, including Sime Darby's LPGA Malaysia. The facilities here are world-class. This is more than just a golf club. On site, you have a host of leisure pursuits to choose from, including a fitness center with personal trainers, squash, badminton, tennis, a swimming pool, bowling center, wellness spa, and much more. There's also a variety of food and beverage offerings that is bound to satisfy even the most discerning of cuisine connoisseurs. In fact, members here include the creme of society, are known to show their presence as regular patrons. KLGCC Resort is a unique 360-acre development set amidst the picturesque backdrop of lush, undulating hills, thanks to the adjacent 245-acre Bukit Kiara Reserve Park. It boasts dozens of trails providing a haven for joggers, hikers and bikers, whilst an abundance of flora and fauna as well as fresh water streams that would appeal to nature enthusiasts. KLGCC Resort is a unique lifestyle destination located within close reach of the city center and a multitude of shopping experiences thanks to premium lifestyle malls like BSC, Bangsa Village, Publica, Wangmont Kiara, and Batai Village. A destination for foodies and culinary mavens alike where you can enjoy the best of KL's cafes and eateries within just a 5-kilometer radius from KLGCC Resort. Expect the unexpected at its very best. You can find everything you need from education to leisure and healthcare. Also, getting around is easy with access to arterial roads and highways, including the Filio Damansara MRT station just minutes away. Welcome to SDP live from KLGCC Resort, our virtual edition here today. My name is Nadia Heng and I am super stoked to be keeping you company, as today not only will we get a glimpse as to what golf resort living looks like at Sonata Residences, but we also have a very insightful session in store thanks to two very special guests who will be joining me on the show. I'm talking about Sean Tan and Vincent of CozyHomes.my. That's right, they are going to be joining us and providing us with some really cool insight as to the 2021 rental market outlook pre and post MCO. Now, before we dive into today's program, I've got some really exciting news for you guys as well, because we are giving away 10, that's right, 10 50 ringgit grab vouchers to 10 lucky winners. So if you want to be in the running, all you have to do is simply follow these 3 simple steps. So step number 1, make sure you share this live session. That's right, share it and like it, and of course make sure your profile is on public mode. Okay, step number 2, simply fill in the registration form that is pinned in the comment section. And step number 3, just answer the questions and engage with us throughout today's session. All right, first question, guys. What is the name of the golf course located in KLGCC Resort? Super easy. I am looking for 3 winners right now. Once again, what is the name of the golf course located in KLGCC Resort? All the best, guys. All right, now it is time to introduce you to my two very special guests who are joining me on the show today. So first up, I gotta say I am a huge fan of both these gentlemen. First up, allow me to introduce you to the very, very renowned social media content creator, YouTuber. Give it up, everybody, for Sean Tan! Woohoo!
Hi, guys.
Also known as Yi Hung. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today, Sean.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, and joining us next to him in the white tee, by the way, not only is he a fitness junkie, but he is also the founder of CozyHomes.my and the chief sales officer of the Makeover Guys. And by the way, he owns 10 of those white tees. Every day, I'm told, that's all he wears to the office. So naturally joining us today in the white tee, give it up for Vincent! Woohoo!
Hi guys. My name is Vincent. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us today. Okay, now before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of the market outlook, right, I also want to ask, for the benefit of everyone who's joining us, Vincent, what exactly does Cozy Homes do?
All right. Cozy Homes is a property management company who deals with owner as well as tenants. So what we do is we do tenant acquisition and also tenancy management. So this is basically our core services provided by our company.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to learn more about that, I'm sure, later on as well. We'll still be getting more insight about that. But for now, let's dive into some of the very, very pertinent questions. I'm sure everybody is wondering, what is the current market outlook for rental properties, you know, pre-MCO, and of course, has MCO actually affected the market? So, gentlemen, what say you?
All right, guys. The rental market ever since pandemic happened actually affected significantly. All right. The rental rate averagely it's at 3,000 ringgit based on our data, and when MCO happened, it's not as high as before. It's only like 2,000 ringgit. Okay, so once MCO finished, what I mean is MCO 1.0, the price actually progressively is in a recovery mode. Okay, so it actually went up to 2,500 ringgit on average, but again, we came to MCO 2.0, right? So the recovery actually stopped there for quite a bit, and now we are at MCO 3.0. Well, I would say the rental market is quite unstable at the moment, but looking at the current vaccination program that the government is implementing, and also the response from the people, it's very promising. So I'm pretty sure and I'm very confident that the rental rate will recover very soon.
So it's definitely on an upwards trend and looking very positive. That's good news.
But that actually depends on the location that you're looking at as well. So if you're focusing on more expat focus, such as KLCC, more Airbnb oriented locations, definitely it's a big impact because borders are closed, right? And the confidence to travel, not that they don't want to travel, they cannot travel. Therefore, the rental is affected. Right. But if you look into developments that is more residential oriented, then it's pretty much the same. In fact, like his company, he was just telling me backstage, like people are still renting, right?
Yeah.
So the demand is still there. So it's very location focused.
Okay, that's very good news, I think, by the sound of it. Now, I want to ask both of you gentlemen, I feel like, you know, areas like Bukit Kiara, Mont Kiara, Bangsa, TTDI, Damansara, just to name a few, right? These are really popular areas. So what is your take on this? Why do you think these areas are so particularly popular?
I think it has been popular before I was born. So it has been popular, but if you were to zoom in, like I think our office is actually around Mont Kiara. If you look into the services provided around that area, it's really catered to that niche of population. It's not like, for me, I find it pretty hard the first few weeks because the services are just not for me, but it's rather for expats and international crowds. So it's more complete, like international schools, even the food of choice, the food and beverage outlets are different and things like that. Yeah. Can I add something?
Yeah, let me reinforce what Sean just mentioned, right? To fill you all in the context, right, how I look at the maturity of a township, it's really based on the services provided in the commercial area. Well, in the very beginning, in a very infancy stage of a township, right, normally you will see a lot of mechanical shop, as well as, you know, car shop, stuff like that. Because why? They are mainly to cater for the truck and tractors when they are doing the development. Then after that, you will see F&B, right? Because people need to eat, right?
Mama.
Mama, F&B, and convenience store.
Yeah.
Right. Then thirdly, when you see a lot of banks and also places like fast food, McDonald's and Starbucks, right? Then you know the area is very near to maturity. And you know what? The area that you just mentioned, right? I think it's above maturity. Why? They even have beauty, wellness, spa, as well as a lot of entertainment outlet, right? So I guess it's above maturity if you ask me.
So those are really good indicators that it's a mature market. Look out for the beauty salons that's super mature, or
Yeah.
anything with those fast food joints, Starbucks. Those are really great indicators for places that you want to go and invest in, that I'm guessing. Okay, so gentlemen, I would like to ask you this, right? There's always been a lot of talk about if you want to rent out a unit, it's always a better advantage if you make sure the entire unit is fully furnished. What is your perspective and view on this? Is this true?
Well, if you ask me, I think obviously I would say yes, because this is what I do. Okay, the matter of fact, right? Cozy Homes is only listing fully furnished unit. Well, if you are doing fully furnished for your entire unit, you are actually staying at the top of the pyramid. When I talk about pyramid, you know when a project is VP, VP means vacant possession.
Okay.
The competition is so stiff, right? You have to compete with 400, 500, even 1,000 other competitors. So in order to rent out fast and also at the very optimal rental rate, right, you have to always stay on top of the pyramid. So that's one thing, okay? If you are doing fully furnished, there's also a second very good advantage, which is what we call multiple rental options, okay? So not only you can go for long stay, which is long term, 12 months, 24 months kind of rental, but you also can do short term. In a very layman term, everyone knows Airbnb, right? So yeah, so we can have long term as well as short term. Yeah, I mean, that's very important.
But just to add on as well, I think it's also location centric again. Like if you do fully furnished in a CBD area where the population is matured, the facilities are there, infrastructures are complete, then it makes a lot of sense because of the profile of tenants that's coming into the unit. It's at that level.
Yeah.
These are the people that want better or finer things in life. They want lifestyle components rather than quantity of space. Then that would make sense in comparison if you go to like outskirts, right? You do it fully furnished, it doesn't guarantee you rental that much.
Yeah.
So if you are doing an investment, if you're coming from an investment point of view, then it makes a lot of sense.
Lovely.
Well, I guess something that I can add on as well, which is when you talk about renovation, we know that it's not a very low ticket value item, right? So you have to really fork up your cold hard cash to pay this renovation. So I think this project, I heard that Sime Darby is giving out a fully furnished kind of package, right, by just paying a very, very minimal amount of money. So I think it's very good because why? Basically, the cost of renovation, right, it's being financed by the installment, right? So I think it's a great deal, man.
Fantastic. That is some really, really great advice right there. So if you want to be ahead of the game, you know, have that competitive advantage, it's definitely, by the sound of it, a great idea to ensure that it's fully furnished. And in the case of Sime Darby, like you mentioned, I think by topping up just 1,000 ringgit, you get that whole fully furnished package as well. So more on that in just a bit. But now, gentlemen, I want to ask you, what is the main difference, right, between a mixed development versus a residential-only development?
Based on theory, mixed development is taking several buildings of different function and jamming them into one development. And this is, some say, new product where it comes later in the society, where last time it's all individual and now it's jam-packed. And that it's with convenience in the end of mind, right? If you can work, play, learn and live in the same location, it's just way more convenient. And ultimately, like I believe, time is the ultimate currency. People will pay more for convenience, actually, like especially during MCO, how I wish as a grocer that is so easily accessible downstairs. I can go and cut my hair, cannot. But I think like for proof, I think Vincent has.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you look into Cozy Homes, right, the apartments located within a mixed development kind of premise, right, normally the rental rate is way higher than the surrounding apartments. Because again, I think the convenience is very important. And also, you can see there are options to do your rental again because the convenience is there, right? So you can do a short term rather than just focusing on long term. So I guess that's a very good advantage in investing in mixed development.
Cool. So, gentlemen, I know both of you are actually avid investors. You're both constantly on the lookout for new gems to invest in. You've actually been investing for what, 13 years now?
Yeah.
What about you, Sean? How many years have you been investing?
I'm not as old.
But almost as seasoned. So I want to ask both of you for your opinions, right? Once you get into, once you start doing this and investing in properties, how do you actually manage your portfolio?
All right.
I go first.
Well, I think to date, right, I have owned not more than 10 properties from room rental, long-term as well as short-term. I think I covered all kinds of rental in my properties. So what I do is, of course, I still have my main job to do, which is my cozy homes as well as my makeover guys, right? I engage property managers to handle all the units for me. So what they do is they will basically find tenants for me. They will arrange for viewing. They also send reminders to the tenant to pay my rental on time. That's very, very important. As well as the utilities, right? This is something that I really like is every single month, end of the month, they will actually send me a statement of, the rental comes in, and also if there's any cost involved for maintenance and stuff like that, right? It's also stated there. So it's very clear, and also it provides me a sort of like a receipt and invoice that if let's say I want to do for my taxation purpose, it comes very handy. All right, yeah.
But I guess it's a progress. Like when I start my first one, of course, why you need a property manager, right? But when you start accumulating wealth, you start accumulating units, right? And it only takes one case where I think in my story is the ceiling is leaking because the tenants above piping is kind of loose, right? And to sort out the work, the actual work takes less than 2 hours. But the coordination, the communication between parties, whether it's strata, whether is it whose fault, whose price, are you overquoting, these kind of things then becomes a big trouble. And if you're in a state in your career where time is valuable, you're fighting for every inch of time, right? It makes more sense to engage somebody, right? And like for me, last time, poor that time, got nothing but time. so it depends on which state you are. Yeah. So there's no definite answer. But now I'm kind of spoiled because I got my friend here.
I want to add on also, because when we talk about property investments, right, it's always about passive income. So what if now you have to actually spend your time attending and fulfilling your tenant requests and doing your maintenance yourself, right? You are actually exchanging time for money.
Yeah.
So that's not a passive income, right? That's actually an active income. So you don't want to build a portfolio with an active income, right? You want to build a passive income portfolio to, a lot of people say, I want to reach my financial freedom kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to put it in a passive form rather than an active form.
Aircon leaking, pipe
Exactly.
leaking.
Exactly.
I gotta say, I think many people who are listening right now can completely identify with the problems, the frustration, the hassle that comes with dealing with tenants, right? And there's nothing like actually handing over that responsibility to someone else so you have time to focus on, more strategic side of things, right? Or actually doing your work or running your business. So I love what both of you just had to say there. So I have some great news, by the way. Sonata Residences is got some really great promos as well. In fact, you can enjoy a 9,000 ringgit rebate, or you have the option to ensure that all the rental management for your residence is covered by SDP. And it also comes with a bunch of freebies as well. And not only that, I like that both of you even talked about how having your place fully furnished can elevate your chances of getting it rented out and commanding a higher income. So the good news here is that for just an additional 1,000 ringgit add-on, you can have your whole place fully furnished at Sonata Residences. So great stuff. If you're interested, make sure you type in the comment section PM and we will private message you, or you can also click on the WhatsApp link down below and our reps will be delighted to help you. So guys, don't forget to stay on because we will be taking questions from you in just a moment. Make sure you send those questions in. If you have any queries about how to manage your rental properties, we got 2 experts right here to help you out. Now it's my privilege to share with you a little glimpse into what living at KLGCC Resort is all about. It is nestled against a 245-acre Bukit Kiara Forest Reserve overlooking TPC Kuala Lumpur, which, by the way, is Asia's premier golfing destination, among the world's 100 greatest golf courses. It's strategically located, surrounded by affluent neighborhoods like TTDI, Mont Kiara, Damansara, just to name a few. And of course, speaking of connectivity, it has easy access to the Sprint Highway, the NKVE, and the Federal Highway as well. And if you don't have a car, it's okay, because it's just down the road from Filio Damansara MRT station. And if you're thinking about schools, yes, it has access to the Gardens International School just around the corner. And in fact, it even is near KPJ Damansara Hospital as well. And for a little bit of shopping, you have plenty of options, including Bangsa Shopping Center, Bangsa Village, Batai Village, and so much more. Sonata Residences, a community curated to your calling, where distinctive details are designed to create a balanced lifestyle. It's where nature, leisure, and culture collide. Strategically located in the outskirts of the city center and outside of KL Central, it gives you the feeling of being in a sanctuary, away from the hustle and bustle of the capital. And yet, it's surrounded by affluent communities such as Bangsa, Bukit Damansara, Bukit Tunku, Sri Hartamas, and more. So this means that you also have that connectivity to highways, allowing you to always feel accessible and yet still a world away from the demanding metropolis. The beautiful Sonata Residences comes in sizes ranging from 710 square feet to 958 square feet, and it comes in 10 different layouts. One of my favorite parts about Sonata Residences is that it also comes with a 2-acre sky park garden with recreation and relaxation facilities. Among my favorites, of course, include the fact that not only does it have a swimming pool, but it also has a jacuzzi as well. And if you're like me and love jogging, it even has a jogging deck too. Not to mention, after a long day of work, there's even a meditation room where you can sit back and gain your zen. Sonata Residences is, of course, a service residence located in a very prestigious address. And naturally, that means even the washrooms come with premium sanitary ware and fittings. Even the kitchen and bathroom come with full height tiles. Now, if all of this already sounds very enticing, just drop us a message in the comment section by simply typing in PM and our team will get in touch with you. Alternatively, you can simply click on the WhatsApp link down below. Now it's time to share some really cool sales promotions that we have got going on. First of all, you can actually enjoy a 9,000 ringgit cash rebate, or you can have your rental management fee covered by Sime Darby Property, plus we're going to throw in some freebies. That's not all. You can also, by simply adding on an extra 1,000 ringgit, enjoy a fully furnished package. So if this sounds good to you, drop us a note in the comment section, simply type PM and our team will private message you, or just click on the WhatsApp link down below. All right, guys, it's time for your second question of the day. All you have to do is name one affluent neighborhood that surrounds KLGCC. Put your answers in the comment section right now. I am looking for 3 lucky winners. Go, go, go! Okay, so guys, now that I have both of you here, I want to hear what is your take for 2022? Looking into the future, the market outlook for rental, what do you think is going to happen?
On a personal level, like I share a lot in my channel, right, in my YouTube channel, plug in. I'm pretty positive because of the several examples overseas, right? You look into the US, UK now, inflation is happening. Like property prices is going off the charts just because interest rates is lower and government is pushing behind, right? Therefore, you can see a lot of price hikes in goods. I see people try to diversify their investment, right? Money is getting really, really small, and that concerns a lot of people, including myself. Therefore, every MCO I'm trying to acquire as much as possible, and I think I'm not the only one, right? And when the market is ready, as I believe the government, it's slow and steady, like vaccination, yes, we have some troubles there, but it's coming, right? Yeah. And when it's open, maybe next year, next half of the year, we have more confidence, and therefore there will be a lack in supply suddenly because the demand is just bursting out of things. You want to take this?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I think vaccination is one of the very important things that determines how fast we can recover. However, I think we must always be prepared, no matter how bad the time is, right? For example, fully furnish your unit, it's a very good option. Yeah. I know it comes with a cost, right? But you must always be prepared. Yeah. What if MCO uplift? What if the recovery suddenly just came, right? Yeah. Then, well, if it's always on top of the pyramid, you can rent out the fastest. Yeah. And I think the most important thing right now to keep every property investor afloat is to rent out faster, okay? All my clients always come to me, how to handle current situation, right? My only advice to them is to rent out faster right now. Don't look at the rate so much, okay? Because, well, the rate, the difference probably like 200, 300, 400 kind of thing, but the longer it stays vacant, the more money you are actually burning because you are paying installment. So yeah, rent out your unit ASAP and stop looking at the rate right now.
But I think some positive note as well. I think you shared with me also again, like just now, you rented out units during lockdown, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, thanks for picking that up. In MCO 1.0, right, we actually leverage on virtual reality, and we rent out like 30 over units in April and May itself.
Wow.
When everyone is like crying, oh, how can I view the unit?
So
right.
so like it's important, like we cannot control that much, but we just focus on the things within our circle of influence. Do up the unit, right? You can do it yourself, like Nadia yourself as well. So it sounds pretty weird, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that, I guess, so overall we're looking at once this vaccination program rollout happens, and it is happening, it will happen, we will get to a rate where things are much better. So have that optimism in mind. And at the same time, I love that both of you mentioned, do the things that are within your control, right? So if you can furnish it, you can get cozy homes on your team, do whatever you can if you want to DIY it, and make sure that you are ahead of the game and at the top of the pyramid, like both of these gentlemen have rightfully said. Okay, so I have one more question, and I know this is exactly the question that goes out to all of you who've just maybe invested in your first property. What do you do with difficult tenants? Okay, once you've got someone in there, let's say you have a difficult tenant who's not paying the electricity bill, not paying the water bill. How do you handle a situation like that? Come on.
Well, I think
your forte, man.
Yeah. Okay, well, based on my experience, right, water is too much of your concern and worry because water bill is not as high as electricity. As you all know now, working from home, electricity bill can go up significantly as compared to pre-MCO, right? I think myself, whenever I look at my electricity bill, it's like, oh my God, right? So, well, to all the property investors out there, remind your tenant to pay the utility bills on time, okay? Don't let it accumulate. Because once it's accumulated, right, it's very difficult, a lot of emotional and a lot of
the amount just get bigger and bigger.
Right, correct. Well, I think download the TNB app. I think it's very helpful.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, because you can monitor from your app, and yeah, I think this app really helps a lot of owner.
And just to add on, you can now switch the name of the bill to your tenants.
Correct.
So I think old school people like myself, no
Yeah.
lah, I was not informed last time. I keep it under my name, so it's quite dangerous. But I think now it's pretty easy to switch the name
Right.
to the tenant's name.
Yeah,
instead,
yeah,
the
yeah,
billings.
of course. And if let's say the tenant runs away with a accumulated kind of big sum, right? Actually, it's nothing to do with the owner. So the owner can come back with the SPA and retransfer back the name to their own name.
Yep, just to
Brilliant.
protect yourself.
Correct.
Great tips right there. All right, guys, it's time for question number 3. Now, before we move into the next segment, quickly get your fingers warmed up and get ready to type in the answer. All you have to do is provide me with the answer to this. Simply share at least one promo that we talked about here today in the comment section. Quickly type in what is one sales promo that we talked about today in today's discussion. Okay, well, gentlemen, we've got a buzz and a flurry of messages coming in from our audience right now. So we're going to go ahead and take some of those questions. All right, so our first question is from Shane. And Shane would like to know, so how do you deal, actually very similar to what we were talking about, how do you deal with difficult tenants, but in this case, maybe tenants who don't pay for months? And we know that this can definitely be a very, very real problem. What kind of action can Shane take?
Okay, to Shane, again, my number one advice is don't drag the whole thing. Because the longer it drags, the more emotional, like I said, the emotional and financial costs involved. And it's getting more and more difficult to solve. But of course, there are a few steps that normally I will share with my clients, which is, borrow their access card. That's one of the quick fix. But I think if let's say we can talk to the tenant first, like understanding their situation, especially nowadays, we know everyone is under the impact of MCO, salary, income, it's affected. So maybe talk to them first. Try to negotiate for maybe an installment, a cheaper installment kind of thing.
But I think it's very old school again to go and like bar that, right? But the ultimate intention is to gain communications, right? And it's almost by default where people on flight mode, where they are having troubles, they cannot make ends meet. They will be in that flight mode and they don't want to talk to the landlord. And suddenly landlord becomes this evil
monster.
right? And I think it's very important to then establish communication first, to have certain empathy, because in the first place you get them in, or if it's under the management company, then let management company does deal with it. So that's the convenience. If you're doing it yourself like me, try to call, and if they cannot make ends meet, right? So then it's your call whether to ask them to leave or whatsoever. But ultimately, is to establish that communication is very important. There's this stigma where I don't want to talk to him and he don't want to talk to me, and that is going to make things worsening. So Shane.
Great advice. So keep that channel of communication open and don't let it fester, right? Because I like that you mentioned, it becomes not just a financial cost, but an emotional cost that's draining on the owner and the tenant as well. So keep that chain of communication open. Or I think this might also help our next question, which comes from Nick. So Nick has a question about cozy homes and relating back to management, right? So how does cozy home help in rental management? And particularly so if you're going to purchase in Sonata Residences.
Cozy Home has this motto, which is ease your time, peace your mind. Okay, so basically what we do is we will do tenant acquisition. We will do screening of the tenant.
Okay.
Yeah, just now I wanted to add on also, in order to avoid all those unwanted and unforeseen circumstances like not paying rental, not paying utilities, right? I think the screening process is very important, right? Because if you get a good tenant, then all these issues are not even issues at all. But again, there are also tactics in screening tenants, which I think our company actually have a lot of SOP in place to do all the screening. All right. So that's for tenant acquisition. Once the tenants agree to stay in, of course we will prepare the tenancy agreement. We will fulfill all the tenant requests. For information, not so easy to get a tenant in, and not so easy to get a tenant that can say everything yes, okay, no problem at all. So it's very difficult. There are a lot of fulfillment to be done. Then of course after they stay in, right, the remaining 12 months we will be handling them, like their requests in terms of maintenance. I think the maintenance itself, it's a very troublesome thing for owners. And I believe owners don't really want to do all these things by themselves, all these nitty-gritty things. They call you in the midnight, right? Telling you the aircon is not working, the aircon is having leakage, or maybe the light bulb is not working. Then what? You have to really drive there all the way to fix the light bulb, right? So yeah, these are all the things that Cozy Home can provide to the owner.
I'm just a client.
Yeah, correct.
I love the tagline. So it's an ease of time, peace of mind,
Correct.
right? Yeah. It sounds, that's exactly what you want to do. You want your investment to be effortless. Once you've bought it, sub it out and then reduce the headache so you can focus on other more strategic decisions. Amazing stuff. Okay, we have our next question here, which is from Yen Chin. Yen Chin has said that, they've heard that having a fully furnished unit is easier to rent out. I'm guessing that was from our conversation earlier, Yenchin. So Yenchin would like to have some more advice on this. So we were talking a little bit about it. Maybe you guys can expand and elaborate.
Yeah.
All your questions you take it, Liche. So to me, I think I kiasu a bit. So I think it depends. Like I think when it comes from the sales officer here, right, it becomes everything the makeover guys, right? But I just want to reiterate that it depends on the budget that you have, right? And it depends at the location of your investment unit. If it's within an area that it's all expat, your treatment of the unit must be different.
Okay.
Then if your target audience is family oriented rather than singles, the kitchen then becomes important. And if you have time, if you have money, then you can do it yourself. But if you don't have time, you got money, you just hire somebody else, right? Ultimately, it's just trying to put your investment unit, you think of it as a product, how does it stand out to your target audience? Yeah, I think that's very important. And whether or not it's done by other people, right, that's the other part of the conversation. But ultimately, it's just a marketing strategy for your investment unit. And you reverse to think, right, you as a tenant, you also want something that is instantly ready where I can move in.
Yeah.
Though long gone was the days where I want to buy in my own sofa, buy in my own fan, I need to order.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
Those were the days, my own washing machine. Then guess what, after your tenancy ends, right, you need to move out again.
Yeah.
It's just not sensible anymore, and I think we have reached a stage where it's matured.
Yeah, one more. Although we always say that fully furnished is easy to rent out, right? But also, again, my piece of advice to the property investors out there, don't overspend. Okay?
Yes.
Good point.
Don't try to spend on plaster ceiling. Okay? So these are things that I think tenant won't appreciate. Or you want to spend on very expensive kitchen island. I think they won't give you extra 1,000 ringgit just for that.
Yeah.
Also, maybe don't overdo your bathroom with a standalone bathtub. Maybe no. I think you can save all the money.
Yeah. I think the wrong mindset is to think of it as you will stay yourself.
Yeah.
Then there are a lot of individual preferences.
Yeah.
Like you like certain indigo color, then you do it up the whole unit. Then when you turn up, it's not really that favorable among the tenants. Then it becomes a trouble as well.
So put yourself in the minds of your potential tenants, right? Sort of make it a bit more unisex because you're not sure if it's going to be rented out to a bachelor, right? Maybe it could be a female entrepreneur. Yeah. So I guess have that in mind. And I love the fact that you said, make sure you also have a budget. Don't go crazy and berserk and buy all the nice shiny things. Make it nice, make it comfortable, but of course stick within your own budget as well. Okay, we have one more final question and then I'm going to wrap things up with my own question for these two gentlemen. So this is from Yu Chi. Yu Chi would like to ask, how do you see if a property is suitable for investment? And what are some of the areas which we should evaluate?
I follow two things. I follow rental rates at the surrounding and I follow the latest transacted price.
Okay.
So if I were to
rental rates, surroundings, and latest transacted price. Okay.
Yep. So we can get access online for all this, right? And to make sure that whatever that I'm buying, it's expensive or cheap is in correlation to the market price. So let's say in Mont Kiara, there's certain market price. In Bukit Kiara or Sonata, there's a certain market price. In Cheras, it's certain market price. Yeah. So it's very important to establish that median first before we decide whether you want to go above it or below it.
Okay.
So if you want to go above it, it must have certain USPs. For example, that amazing view or that tremendous connectivity and things like that that will put you up front. Or if not, you want to go below, that would be a safer place to be. But then again, then rental plays a role.
Yeah.
because ultimately let the figures tell you what to do.
Okay. Great advice. Vincent, you want to add on to that as well?
Sure.
Why not?
I'm waiting. Well, I guess property investment is not easy. I have to say it upfront. So there are a lot of knowledge involved. For example, every single property has their own different strategy.
Yep.
All right. The most fundamental, you want to buy it for rental purpose or you want to buy it for capital appreciation, or in our term we call it flip. But I guess these days most of the people would rather go for rental because we don't have that kind of market anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and also I guess there are also a lot of numbers, benchmark that you really have to equip yourself with. For example, like rental, you want to aim for a 6% or a 4%, 5% different area, that kind of thing. You must know then before you make your decision whether to buy the particular project or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great advice, and that's a perfect segue for me to wrap up with one final question. And by the way, if you're not already following both of these gentlemen on their social media, make sure you do so. And Sean, I know that you always give unbiased reviews about property, so I'm going to put you on the spot right now and ask you this question. I'm personally considering, I love Sonata Residences. There's a 700 square foot unit. Is it a good investment?
So, okay.
No pressure.
I think it depends on three things, right?
Okay.
First of all, are you in a spot in your career that you are ready to gear up for more risk?
Okay.
So only you know that yourself, whether you have extra money, right? You have extra time and effort to focus on investment to grow your wealth. So that's one. The second thing, in terms of timing then, like HOC is in place. Promotions are crazy right now. Like it's buyer's market right now. And we are in the state where technology gives us all different kinds of information. And you can really make that informed decisions, right? Then the third thing is that after MCO, there are certain things that you need to decide for yourself. It's like how optimistic you want to be. Is vaccination to 80% is going to help the market. But if you look into different trends internationally, housing, now they are talking about housing bubble already in US.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's only 3 months ago we were talking about housing market crash, right?
Yep.
Now it's housing market bubble already. So a splash of that, if that were to happen in
Malaysia.
your scenario right here, right? So the two things there I think is pretty positive, just that the only part where I don't have context would be how comfortable are you with risk?
Right.
So like Sonata can be a fanciful place and it depends on your judgment. We can all look at the same data, but we have different preference and story to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be my answer. So I always encourage, as like my channel, to make the informed decision and take that calculated risk.
Very cautious, very sensible answer. I love it. And of course, thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. If you guys are still interested, if you're interested, which you definitely should be, as we've heard from both gentlemen, it's definitely a great time to invest right now. There's a lot of deals going on. And with SDP, you even get that 9,000 ringgit cash rebate, or you can convert that into having them manage your rental, plus a bunch of freebies. And just for 1,000 ringgit extra, you can even get that fully furnished package, which will help you get to the top of the pyramid and give you that competitive advantage when you want to rent it out. So if you're interested, make sure you PM us right now. Just type in PM into the comment section, or you can click on the WhatsApp link down below and our team will get in touch with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Nestled within the natural beauty of Bukit Kiara, just 8 kilometers from the heart of Kuala Lumpur's city and a stone's throw away from some of KL's most affluent neighborhoods, lies the impressive, prestigious KLGCC Resort, the most sought-after urban resort developed by Sime Darby Property. Welcome to the most sought-after address here in Malaysia, KLGCC Resort. I'm here at the prestigious TPC KL, one of the world's 100 greatest golf courses and home to numerous international championship tournaments, including Sime Darby's LPGA Malaysia. The facilities here are world class. This is more than just a golf club. On site, you have a host of leisure pursuits to choose from, including a fitness center with personal trainers, squash, badminton, tennis, a swimming pool, bowling center, wellness spa, and much more. There's also a variety of food and beverage offerings that is bound to satisfy even the most discerning of cuisine connoisseurs. In fact, members here include the creme of society, are known to show their presence as regular patrons. KLGCC Resort is a unique 360-acre development set amidst the picturesque backdrop of lush, undulating hills, thanks to the adjacent 245-acre Bukit Kiara Reserve Park. It boasts dozens of trails providing a haven for joggers, hikers and bikers, whilst an abundance of flora and fauna as well as fresh water streams that would appeal to nature enthusiasts. KLGCC Resort is a unique lifestyle destination located within close reach of the city center and a multitude of shopping experiences thanks to premium lifestyle malls like BSC, Bangsa Village, Publica, Wamont Kiara and Batai Village. A destination for foodies and culinary mavens alike where you can enjoy the best of KL's cafes and eateries within just a 5-kilometer radius from KLGCC Resort. Expect the unexpected at its very best. You can find everything you need from education to leisure and healthcare. Also, getting around is easy with access to arterial roads and highways, including the Filio Damansara MRT station just minutes away.